back in the clinic. So on this episode, I just want to show you me kind of getting this used engine prepared to go in here, and kind of what I figured out, the difference between each other, and what I'm actually going to do with what he brought, with the engine that he brought me, how I'm going to change a couple things and get this thing pretty much ready to go, but the right way. But here we go. Let's get it. All right, so this is the used engine that we're going to be putting in the car. This is an old one. So if you can look at them, they look pretty much the same. You can tell that this one has the Y8 bigger plenum style intake manifold. This one just has the regular older OBD1 one. So that's the first thing that's got to be, that I noticed that you're going to have to change over. But I want to change over this stuff anyways, because this was known good running already in the car. It didn't idle funny, no issues like that. It started right up, except it just knocked. But I did figure that I will be swapping this VTEC head over to this block. This is a VTEC head, but this is the VTEC-E head, which is quite different besides this one. They look almost the same. The castings are the same. I had to do a little bit of research also. I popped the valve covers and I could tell already that they were different. I'll show you that now. But let's see. Try to get this off there for you. All right, so this is the VTEC-E. So as you can see in here, how the rocker assembly is set up. All the valve train in there. All right, now I'll take this one off here and show you this one. Set that to the side. All right, so this is usually how the single cam under the valve covers look. All right, so you can see that there's quite a difference if you look at this. So this is your generic, your traditional single cam VTEC layout right here. It's got the LMAs here, lost motion assemblies here. It'll be the camshaft will have 3 lobes on it. Low cam and the high cam. So this one is a bit different. It has rollers in it. So a good technology, not saying that is bad. That's a good, the roller walkers are a good technology. But it's just made different. This is for like economy. So it definitely is for fuel economy. It'll save gas. And I don't believe that this cam, I don't think that, so if I put that cylinder head into the car with the program that the stock computer has on it, I don't think it will run how it should with this style VTEC system compared to this Y8. This is simple. Just, you get your oil pressure here, VTEC engages, and the lobes work. It'll still work on this, but the camshaft, the profile is not exactly the same. So I just don't want any issues with it. I want it to be exactly the same how it was factory, which is this cylinder head right here. I don't want any VTEC issues, I don't want it to feel kind of sluggish, because I believe this one will make it feel a little sluggish. I did a little bit of research. Did read that these springs the valve springs might be a little weaker, which is I can push down with my fingers. I can push them down on this one more easy than this one. It could be, it could just feel a little different. Maybe the design is different. You can't push them down, but I mean, these are just single cam valve springs here. So, I mean, they might be different. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I can push this down. I can push that down. And I can barely push these down. So I believe there's a difference. I think that head might be a little weaker. More of a not like this is a performance head, but I'm just saying this is different. I don't want to use that. I don't want any issues. But on a good note, since I'm going to put the Y8 head onto this JDM D15B block, the OEM Y8 timing belt is available. So I'll be able to use an OEM timing belt. And I got the OEM oil pump, the Y8 oil pump that I'll be putting on here. So this block is going to be refreshed. I'm about to take the cylinder head off. I'm going to check the cylinder walls in it to see if it, I don't know if the customer wants to go too far in it, but if I see any issues with it, then we can do a full refreshing. But if I pop the head off, I don't see that it looks, bad. I'm going to pop the oil pan off, see if, make sure the rods are good, but, yeah, I mean, it's just a couple things that you got to look out for when you buy an engine. I mean, this is a D15B with a VTEC-E head. I mean, I think someone had already put that together, you know, so like a little mini-me swap. I mean, you know, different block, different head, but I'm going to use this cylinder head. I don't want to run into any issues with the VTEC-E, you know, shit like that, so. Not that this, like I said, this, not that that's not going to run. I'm sure it runs, but that is different. And that the VTEC does perform differently than how this Y8 cylinder head performs. And I don't want any issues with the stock computer, so I want it to run. I want it to feel peppy, just how a Y8 is supposed to feel. And I also found that, well, you know, this is just research off of the internet, but the valves also might be smaller on this cylinder head than that one. Hey, I don't know. I'm about to take both off and we'll see.
Can I get a scratch?
Alright, so I got the cylinder head off. Pretty easy, just take all the head bolts out. I left the intake manifold on it. But I'm probably taking the intake manifold off and strip it down. I might take this off to get resurfaced and whatnot. I see, I think, let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take this to get resurfaced and do a valve job on it, because yeah, I'll definitely do a valve job on this thing just to make sure this head is fresh. I mean, why take this head off, do all this work, and then put it on another block, but like don't get the head fresh? So just do everything the right way the first time. You won't have any issues. You won't have to second guess anything. But yeah. So yeah, essentially what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take this cylinder head off now, and I'll send that one off to the machine shop, get some machine work done onto it, make sure everything is pretty much fresh as hell, and it'll go back on that block. I'm gonna inspect that block once I pull this head off as well. All right, so got that cylinder head off, and you can see the bottom of it. So so this gasket material, man, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad I'm going through this thing pretty deep, because I didn't want to. What if I would have put this together? So put this block, put that head on there, drop it in the car, and then it has a blown head gasket or something, you know. So it's just better when you buy a used engine. Like I said, you are taking a gamble no matter what. And I would rather take this apart, check it out, and you know, refresh it as much as possible. I know sometimes customers are not trying to do like a whole rebuild or nothing, but if you're trying to get your car running and not have to worry about it for a while, sometimes you might have to rebuild something, or, you know, refresh and do some machine work or something. And in this case, that's what we're gonna do. So so like I said, we're gonna freshen this up. We're gonna put that cylinder head on this block. Right now, I'm just gonna check the block out. I'm gonna spin it over. I'm gonna take the oil pan off and check out the bottom end of it. And just by checking the bottom of both these cylinder heads out, so this one does indeed have smaller valves than the Y8 cylinder head. You go here. See, look at that. That is the exhaust valve. And this is the exhaust valve. See, it doesn't even, this exhaust valve is a lot bigger. So the valves on this VTEC-E head are indeed smaller. Anyone that is ever wondering. And you can tell it's just made a little different. The chamber is a little different. It's more flat here. It's got this little groove here on the sides of it as well. I'm assuming because if you see this one valve open. So pretty much the economy mode, economy head, when you're driving, I believe one valve is opening up instead of usually you'll have both valves opening up. This one, like I said, this valve will probably open up only by itself at times. I mean, this one will open up as well, but at, you know, a certain time. You know, like I said, this is a VTEC-E, economy fuel mileage cylinder head. I could be wrong on that, seeing that one valve out, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. But so you see it, both of these would be open up at the same time. Both of those would be open up at the same time. You see that one is not. I mean, there could be something wrong with that valve, but typically, the way I see it, I think that's how the VTEC-E is supposed to work. I think one valve opens up at, you know, each time. But yes, these valves are smaller than these. This is a D16Y8 cylinder head. This is a D15 VTEC-E cylinder head. So all right, and to test my theory, what I was telling you guys before about the one valve being open. So if you spin this over, watch. See how the one valve comes out? See? And you see one valve comes out here. That's the VTEC-E. So one valve opens up, and I guarantee you, so when VTEC hits, the other valve will open up, and that'll give you the VTEC. The one valve opening up will give you the extra horsepower for the VTEC. There, you see one valve opening up there. And then that valve goes open up there. So yeah. When you hit VTEC on the Y8 or the Z6 or any, you know, B series, both valves open up at the same time when you engage VTEC. All right, so further messing with this block here, I checked out the pistons, and I was just looking to see how low dished they are. And this is indeed, it says P07. I had to look that up. I found a good article on Heel Toe about D-series pistons and what they come in. And see, the customer bought this. He bought this, and the listing said, I just went back and looked at it. The listing said D15B block and a Z6 head. And you know, but when it got here to the shop, I saw it said VTEC-E, so that's why I was suspected about, you know, the head being different. But this is indeed this whole setup is a D15B. It's a JDM VTEC-E, which is this is the dish. It's got the dished pistons. This thing comes with like 90 horsepower. So this is not what we need. This is not going to work to it. But So pretty much this is not what we need to, to work with, this low compression setup, this low horsepower, and the way the VTEC works. This is not what we need to kind of pretty much replace a Y8 setup. It's just not going to work. So I mean, you could put it in the car, but it's not going to be right. And so I'm kind of stuck. We were thinking this might have been a JDM D15B that we could swap out. I could put the Y8 head on there. That would have been no problem. But I saw these pistons, and it's possible to put that Y8 head on here, but it's going to be low compression. That's going to be a low compression setup, and it's just still, like I said, it's not going to be right to be in stock form, to run the stock computer, not having to do anything extra. But and these valve reliefs right here, maybe even the VTEC model, if I put that Y8 head on here and when it hits VTEC, the valves might even hit these dishes right here. So it's probably been done before. You probably could do it, but that is a thing to think about as well. These valve releases are small because of those valves are smaller as well, like I showed earlier in the video. So what I'm going to do, so this block is knocking. This one was indeed knocking. I'm going to take it apart, and I believe I found a couple refurbished that are refurbished crankshafts that are, standard. You don't need oversized bearings and stuff. And it looks like the best bet is to just rebuild this with a new crankshaft, because the customer was trying to not have to buy a new another Y8, because the prices on Honda motors have went up drastically. They're wanting already about like $1,500 for one of these. So we could build them a nice fresh one for around the same. So that's where we're at. We are stuck. But I'm about to take this apart and see the condition of the internals of that D16Y8.
Can I get a scratch?
Alright, so I got all the main caps off here. There's all that there. But as you can see, man, just look at the tops of each. Look at the top of the crank. Real dark. That's burnt. That means it's getting way too hot. So the oil clearances are way off. This one's probably, look at that. That's a knock sound there. So whoever put this together, these rod bearings, I don't know, they probably put a Band-Aid on it, who knows, but this is definitely the issue there. So like I said, I did find some crankshafts that are standard, because this crankshaft is not going to be any good. Seeing that those bearings are like that, most likely the journals on the crank for where the rods go are going to be no good. These actually look fine right there. All these journals, your main journals. But I guarantee you these journals aren't any good. I mean, we could take it apart, we might see, but you see those are bright color, or, you can see the color difference there. Dark, like, toast. And then look at those two. The color is really not that dark. But yeah. I'll go ahead and take the rods out and continue. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the rods out. Rods and pistons out, and then inspect that. But yeah, you can see how black the top of that rod is, the big end of it. It's just burnt. Yeah, these bearings were pretty much about to weld themselves together. Weld themselves to these rods. This one's real bad, for sure. But, yeah, the pistons don't look bad, though. The pistons don't look bad. But, I'm sure these pistons are cheap as hell nowadays, so... I'll can get this block honed, maybe just 0.5 over, just to get it nice and good, because I know the cylinder walls look a little iffy as well. But find me a new crankshaft for this thing, or a crankshaft that's standard, and should be good to go, man. Because like I said, it was just the rod bearings that were just, whoever put it together, they put a Band-Aid, they probably put new rods in it, or I don't know what the hell they did. But it sucks that I had to break this down, tear all this crap down on the floor. But it is what it is. I had to, we can't use that other engine for what we need it for. And so, yeah, I pretty much had to just do this on the floor, make a big mess pretty much. But trying to save this sock, so save this single overhead cam. It was going to be a simple replace it with a different engine, but the engine's definitely not the same. So, or compatible in any, compatible for what it needs to be. So, looks like we're going to do a whole rebuild on this D16Y8 right here. I've already got a whole bunch of OEM parts already for it, but I didn't know I was going to have to use this block. So, new pistons possibly, but new rings, new bearings, different crankshaft, and we should be good to go. But kind of sucks because this build is now, it's going to be on hold. That's another car that I have to kind of pull out now, and I got to keep moving on different cars, man. This is a setback, and this is a setback for the customer as well. But that's how it goes. That's part of the game sometimes, especially buying engines from Facebook or anywhere, used engines. But yeah, that's how it goes, man. It's a gamble buying used engines at times. But we're going to get this right. Looks like we're going to have to do a whole build on it. Not build, but, whole rebuild, overhaul on the D16Y8 that came in it. That came in knocking. So new crankshaft, refurbished crankshaft, which is, good, standard. We don't have to use oversized bearings or none of that. And new bearings, new rings, possibly new pistons in it, just replacement style pistons in it. And this thing will be fresh as hell after that. Get the cylinder head nice and fresh. This thing will be running brand new. It'll be 0 miles after the rebuild. So, hey, you can't really go wrong with that when stuff like this happens. It's kind of a plus. You're so far into it, you might as well do it right. And the end result, if everything's brand new, good for plenty of miles. So, I'm checking out, man. This is all I got for today. I'm checking out. Peace. Love y'all. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, all that good stuff. You already know.